sudden. I'm happy and blessed that the Lord woke me up today, planted my feet on the floor, and got me over to our Black Talk radio station this morning on Norman C. Francis Parkway on the South Campus of Xavier University. I'm flying solo on this side of the mic, but I got company because I've got Mr. Producer Jared Broad in the house. So he's on the other side of the glass, making sure things moving along smoothly. And we're going to give you some news and information that you want to know, might want to know, and we think you really should know. As always, the talk line is open, 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. Well, we've got a lot of stuff going on in the world today, and we got quite a packed show for you as well. So we're going to jump into some of the news and then give you a little preview. Actually, we're going to give you a little preview of the a key segment of the show so you can get ready and you can let people know that right here on WBOK, 12:30 a.m., we will have candidates who want to be the state representative for District 100. That's correct. We're going to have the candidates who want to be the state representative for District 100. And so we're going to have them here live in studio, as far as I know. And we're going to have a conversation, a discussion, a forum, if you will, and see where they stand, why they want this office, why they want you to vote for them. Why they want you to vote for them. If you're in District 100, that district is a good chunk of New Orleans East. It is the district that has been represented by Jason Hughes for the last several years. And of course, Jason Hughes got elected to city council. So he's one of 7 members on city council and representing District E, New Orleans East. So with that elevation, there's a need for a special election. It's a very important decision because there's going to be a session coming up in just a short few weeks. So whoever is elected will be going in and getting busy rather quickly. And if there's a runoff, they'll be even busier because they'll have to play catch up because the session will start before the runoff determines a winner. So will you, the voters in District 100, determine who will be your next state rep on Saturday? Or will you divide the vote enough so that no one gets 50% plus one? Well, we'll see, and we are planning to give you more information by having the candidates in today. So not everybody can make it. Opportunities have been provided to everybody, but we're going to have the opportunity for those candidates who are available to come on in and participate right here at WBOK. So make sure you reach out to all your crew, family and friends, even people who don't live in District 100, because whoever is elected will be a part of the New Orleans delegation of legislators, and they'll need to work with the other legislators, which means it would include yours, and push to get some things done with supermajority Republican number of legislators in the state house and in the state Senate. So Democrats are in the minority. They will be in minority. But as our Congressman Troy Carter reminded us yesterday, just because you don't have enough votes on a number of things, that does not mean you lose your voice. So which of these voices will you choose to be your next state representative for District 100? Meanwhile, there is excitement in the air. Started late last night as Drew Brees became one of the newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So that announcement was made in San Francisco, and he joins folks like Ricky Jackson, Willie Roaf, Morton Anderson, Sam Mills as one of the uh, players in the Hall of Fame who spent the majority of their careers with the New Orleans Saints. And of course, Drew Brees spent the first few years of his career with the San Diego Chargers. And then some magic happened with Drew Brees coming to the Saints, Sean Payton taking over as coach. And what a stretch that was as he played 20 seasons in the NFL until March of 2021, and concluded that with the large majority of his time in New Orleans with the Saints. So congratulations to Drew Brees, and I know that a lot of folks were anticipating that would happen on the first ballot and not the second or the third, and it did happen. It did happen. So congratulations to Drew Brees. We also have a report from WWL, a rather unfortunate report from David Hammer, who is an investigative reporter with WWL, and Ramon Antonio Vargas, who's an investigative reporter and editor with The Guardian. So this is news out of yesterday. These gentlemen have been following the Roman Catholic Church molestation investigation, church scandal, and some everything surrounding that. And according to these gentlemen, a man accused of molesting a disabled boy whom he met while working as a Roman Catholic priest in New Orleans has been indicted on child rape charges. And this happened yesterday with an Orleans Parish grand jury. On Thursday, they handed up a 9-count indictment, nine counts against Mark Francis Ford. That's 5 months after the authorities arrested him and jailed him without bail. And I guess he goes by Mr. Ford, as opposed to Father Ford at this point. Mr. Ford, 64, has been charged with aggravated rape of a child, raping a person suffering from a physical disability, preventing resistance, 2 counts of molesting a juvenile, another 3 counts of indecent behavior with a minor, and kidnapping. Hate to hear it. Glad to hear that justice is being pursued. So we will see what happens with that. So in just a moment, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we expect to go into conversation with candidates who want to be the next state representative for District 100. We got much more on the show today. We're going to hear from representatives from Southern University of New Orleans. We're going to hear from New Orleans and Company about great things going on in and around the city. And we're going to hear from our friends at Liberty Bank, who always strive to keep us financially healthy so we can improve our wealth. 7:11 a.m., this is Will Sutton. Be careful, folks, driving out there. Our kiddos need to get to school so they can get educated. Be careful. Watch out for them. Watch out for yourself, and watch out for the crazy drivers, because I know that's not you. So talk line 504-582-9422. This is WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good morning and happy Friday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. The New Orleans Police Department is investigating a deadly crash on I-10 westbound near the Little Woods exit, We're told it happened just before 11:30 p.m. There is no word on what caused that crash or how many people were involved. Then a former teacher at the Academy of the Sacred Hearts in New Orleans is waking up behind bars charged with sex between an educator and a student. 29-year-old Teddy Page will appear in court today to have her bond set. In a statement from the school, officials say as soon as they learned of the accusations, Page was escorted off campus and fired. They say they then notified the NOPD. All right, get ready for the first big weekend of parades. Revelers can enjoy their favorite crews rolling in New Orleans, Metairie, and on the North Shore. The crew of Cork rolls at 3 in the French Quarter today. Then it is the crew of Ocean hitting the Uptown Parade route around 5. They are followed by the crew of Cleopatra. And finally, a huge congratulations to number 9. Last night, Drew Brees was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The legendary Saints quarterback is the only first ballot Hall of Famer for the Saints, and his resume includes a Super Bowl win, a Super Bowl MVP title, and many more accolades. That is a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been in tune with us since 702, 703, 705, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's now 7:18 in the morning on this glorious Friday. I am so pleased to be here. The Lord blessed me with this day, and I am very pleased to be here with candidates who want to be the next state representative for District 100. Thing that happens with seats when they become vacated, oftentimes people say, so-and-so's seat, because that's who's been in the seat. Yes, you can call it the Jason Hughes seat, but it's not Jason Hughes' seat. This is the people's seat for the people who live in District 100. So today we have Patricia Boyd Robinson in the house with us. We have Kenya Rounds in the house with us. And we have Candace Taylor in the house with us. Haven't heard back from Mr. Dana Henry, who is a candidate. And we did hear from Aisha Kelly, who has conflicts with her schedule. So she won't be here, but she does have a statement. Obviously, she won't be able to be asked questions and respond. So we're going with those who chose and are available to be here so that you, our WBOK family of listeners, can hear what they have to say. So with that, let's get on and remind people that tomorrow is Election Day. I'm going to say this a couple of times. Early voting was January 24th through January 31st. More than 4,000 people requested mail-in ballots. Fewer than 1,000 returned them. That means there's more than 3,000 of you who did not return ballots. And I hope you've returned them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. If you still have one, don't put it in the mail because it's not going to get there. And it must be with the registrar of voters by 4:30 p.m. today. So you've lost the option of putting it in the mail and getting there. So you have to drop it off for that to be a ballot that will be counted. Otherwise, tomorrow's Election Day, and voting starts at 7 a.m. And now we're going to start with opening comments. Each of you will have up to 90 seconds. No need to take all of the time. If you choose to, that's perfectly fine. And if you do, then I will let you know when it's time to stop. So we can move on to the next person and move on with questions. And we will have closing comments later on. Ms. Boyd Robinson.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Patricia Boyd Robinson, and I am running for state representative of District 100 because I believe that great leadership starts with service. I have served my community for over 40 years, and I believe that leadership is proven by action. Long before I decided to run for office, I have been deeply involved in my community and strengthening New Orleans East to make sure that the residents of New Orleans East have a place that they can call their home. I am a mother of 4, I'm a grandmother of 10, and a great-grandmother of 1. Very excited about that. I've also been a lifelong resident of New Orleans for all of my life. I've been in New Orleans East. My educational background, I have a bachelor's degree in accounting, a master's in business administration, and a PhD in public policy. My professional background, I'm currently a professor in public administration, and also I'm a business owner for over 25 years for Appointed Financial Group. I've also worked as the administrator for the church at New Orleans, an accountant for the United States Department of Agriculture, a military personnel clerk for the Naval Reserve Personnel Center, and a manager for H&R Block Tax Services. I believe that all of these experiences have taught me that effective leadership means listening collaborating,
Time.
and showing up consistently.
Mr. Rounds.
Well, we're not going to let the ladies go first.
No, we're going to go in this order so I can keep track.
Okay, not a problem.
Now I got to start order.
Okay.
All right, hold on a second. Let's go.
Good morning, District 100. I am Kenya Rounds, and I'm number 12 on your ballot this Saturday. Let me first say happy Friday, happy Mardi Gras, and happy Hall of Fame Day, as we see Drew Brees went into the Hall of Fame on yesterday. I, too, am a Hall of Famer from Southern University, so I feel pride when I see our homeboy, so to say, go into the Hall of Fame. So I want to congratulate Drew on his acceptance of the Hall of Fame on last night. But I am Kenya Rounds, and I'm number 12 on your ballot. Simply put, New Orleans East, we deserve better. And what I mean by we deserve better is that we've seen the slow progress that's taken part in New Orleans East. But I have a plan to change that. We have to create jobs. We have to create economic development. And we have to receive our fair share of resources. Well, what do you mean by that, Kenya? Receiving our fair share of resources is this. New Orleans East is one of the largest tax bases in the city of New Orleans. However, from the state of Louisiana as well as the city of New Orleans, we only receive about 7% of our property taxes back in investment. That has to change, and I'm the person to do it. In Baton Rouge, you need a fighter. Allow me to go to Baton Rouge and fight for your interests, for the people of District 100.
Okay.
As I said,
you
my
got-
9 seconds.
go ahead. You got
As
it.
I said before, I'm Kenya Rounds. I attended Livingston Middle School, John F. Kennedy Senior High School, Southern University in Baton Rouge, as well as Southern University Law School. As my time comes to a close, again, I'm Kenya Rounds. I'm number 12 on your ballot. I look forward to meeting you at the polls on
And-
tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Taylor.
All right, good morning. Thank you all for having us. We appreciate it. I'm Candace Taylor. I'm very happy to be here. Woman of God, I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a grandmother, lifelong resident of New Orleans East, proud advocate for our community. Since the beginning of this campaign, I've been speaking to and talking about the priorities for District 100. Solutions that are going to have a direct impact on our everyday life. And that looks like investment into our infrastructure and economic development. That looks like access to fresh and healthy food for our community. We know that access to healthy food is public health. It's also mental health. And it also looks like advocating for the chronically negligent private residential property owners, commercial property owners who have continued to neglect their properties. So look to advocate for our communities and making sure that they are being held to the correct standard. And so for me, my priorities are extremely clear as it pertains to District 100. People need to be able to feel, see tangible results, not a sense of hope. It needs to be tangible. And so I'm running to make sure that we have someone that's able to go there with a sense of integrity and act in purpose and unity for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a statement from Aisha Kelly, and our producer, Jared, will read that statement for our WBOK family of listeners.
My name is Aisha Kelly. I'm a lifelong resident of New Orleans East, and I have raised my two daughters here in our district. I am a proud graduate of St. Mary's Academy and Southern University at New Orleans. Like you, I love our community, and I want to see it thrive. I've been doing the work, fighting blight, supporting local businesses, and helping beautify New Orleans East. I'm ready to hit the ground running, but I need your help in this very important special election on Saturday, February 7th. I humbly ask for your prayers, your support, and your vote to represent District 100.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on into questions. A lot of people in this district are, I would say, rather passionate about where they live and sometimes feel put upon by how people look at this part of the city. and they know that they have more than what other people seem to think. So let's talk about the New Orleans East brand. How do you see, and this is for each of you, how do you see the New Orleans East brand in District 100, across New Orleans East, and across the city, and what is that brand and what should it be? So you each have a minute and a half. Dr. Boyd Robinson.
Okay, so I know that for New Orleans East, as I began to interview a lot of the residents and a lot of the organizations in New Orleans East, branding was one of the biggest things that they said New Orleans East needed to be rebranded. As I think about New Orleans East, I don't. I think New Orleans East has a brand. When I grew up in New Orleans East was the place to live, was the place to go. Everybody wanted to live in New Orleans East. So I think we just need to bring back what New Orleans East had. We need to bring back, as we talk about economic development, we need to bring back the enjoyment, the community. I think the brand of New Orleans East is community. I think that as the community begins to work together, and that's my plan, I want to see our community come back so that our children, our grandchildren, all of my children, grandchildren, they live in New Orleans East. I want to see them have the experience that I had growing up in New Orleans East. We were able to walk out of our houses, know our neighbors. We knew people all the way from blocks and blocks and blocks away. We've lost that. We've lost community. We can brand it anything we want, but until we bring the people back together and begin to have a community again, we're not going to see what we need to see in New Orleans East. So my branding is let's bring back community.
Thank you. Mr. Rhymes.
Good morning. I'm glad you asked that question. Let me say this unequivocally. New Orleans East is strong. New Orleans East does not have a people problem. It has an image problem. And the image problem is based on the biases that have been perpetuated in New Orleans East by certain other communities and individuals. New Orleans East is a proud place. District 100 is the starship neighborhood of New Orleans East, and it has to be beautified. The image that exists in people's minds of New Orleans East is not what happens. My plan is to beautify New Orleans East and bring back those institutions through investment that can lead to the image changing. For example, Lincoln Beach. That project is fully funded. It's ready to go. We have to take care of the red tape and take the bureaucracy out of the process, but that will be a flagship investment in our neighborhood, creating jobs and creating opportunities for people and creating hope. Secondarily, Bayou Phoenix. That's a project that we need to come in and look at and see what's the status of it at this point, where it's at, and what needs to be done from our state and city partners to help that project come to completion. So New Orleans East has a bias that exists against it, but how you change that bias is you take one neighborhood at a time and you improve it. You clean up the paper. You make sure the street lights are on. You create jobs. You create opportunities for people. You lower homeowners' insurances. New Orleans East is a jewel. The bias that exists is untrue, and I plan to show that and give pride and inspiration back into my community. I'm Kenya Rounds. I'm number 12 on your ballot. Thank you very much.
Ms. Taylor.
Thank you. Yeah, we talked about the image of New Orleans East, and what I'll say is that systems produce the outcomes. Whether that be a system that's working for or against the people, the system is producing the outcome. So when we talk about rebranding, when we talk about the image, we have to continue to reinvest and invest in our people. As a leader in any position, you have to be mindful of how you speak about the people in your district, how you speak about the district. You also have to be in a position to push back against false narratives that have constantly been perpetuated through media, through communities that are not from our community, that are not aware of what we're doing and who we are. So we have to always be mindful that we need to push back. We need to understand that this is a systemic issue that needs to be addressed. So my goal is to continue to push for a rebranding campaign, making sure that we are aggressively, pushing back against any false narratives. We're talking about highlighting the powerful and the positives of New Orleans East and District 100.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, um, community is important across the city. Um, I'm from New Orleans, grew up in the Lower Ninth Ward in Gentilly. But I think New Orleans East has a stronger reputation for community, by neighborhood, by section, and so often people think of New Orleans East as one big neighborhood, and of course, it is not. So what I want to know now is, of course, there's this campaign, but before the campaign, tell us which community organizations you were active in, and tell us the last community meeting you went to, even if it was during the campaign, so that our listeners can have some idea of some of your involvement. Dr. Boyd Ross.
Okay. Currently, I am involved with the New Orleans East Green Infrastructure. I'm a board member and a volunteer. That's where we empower and transform the New Orleans East community through education and implementation of innovative green infrastructure. If y'all have been seeing the plants and all of the things that's going forward in New Orleans East, that's us. I'm also an oversight professor for the Society of Financial Education and Professional Development. That's where we help students and family and friends to navigate their financial journey. I'm also the president of Caring About New Orleans. It's a nonprofit organization, Community Development Corporation, where we are currently working on a community development project. It's a mixed-use complex for seniors and veterans. I'm also the missions president for the church at New Orleans, where we feed the homeless once a month. We provide food and clothing. We do back-to-school supply giveaway every month. We do a mat camp. I provide a mat camp for those that's struggling in mat. We also visit the seniors every month, and we do a senior banquet at the end of the year for the seniors. I'm also a student advisor and entrepreneur director for Southern University. I've recently attended the board meetings for, I always attend the board meetings for our community organization, Night Out for Crime, and all of those different organizations. Personally, I provide free financial seminars to the community for youth and those, and also provide housing for those that are underprivileged.
Thank you. New Orleans East neighborhood associations are strong. Let me say that first. Everything starts with neighborhood associations in District 100. I'm a part of my neighborhood association, which is the Eastover subdivision, and we also branch off into other groups like New Orleans East Matters, ENONAC, and other neighborhood, Kingswood Association, different associations within the neighborhood. All of those associations come together, and they really legislate from the ground up because they're your direct line of communication. They talk to you as a legislator, as a leader, and tell you what's going on in the community, and they've expressed those concerns to me. All of us have offered ourselves the service, so we've been pretty much throughout this campaign trail and even before to every meeting they've had. I don't think I've missed a homeowners associated meeting in the last couple of months. But we understand the importance of it. And some of the things that they're concerned with, they talk about the disinvestment that's taking place in New Orleans East and how that we can bring reinvestment into the community. And I think I'm uniquely qualified to do that because I am a civil litigator and trial attorney by trade. So I understand government structures and how to go to Baton Rouge and get resources to bring back to my community. But also the community is strong because it's the direct line to the legislator or to the leadership to tell you what's happening in the community and what their needs are and equip you with the tools going forward to address their needs. So I just like to say that New Orleans Homeowners Associations are strong. I support them 100%, and we're moving forward to improve District 100. And I'm Kenya Rounds, number 12 on your ballot.
Ms. Taylor.
All right. Thank you. So right now I stand as the co-founder and president of the Lincoln Beach Neighborhood Association, which came as a direct response to us not having an association in our neighborhood. And we started one because we understood the importance of having a seat at the table and being able to build effective relationships with city and state and federal leadership. I'm also co-founder, vice president of the New Orleans East Restoration Project, which is a nonprofit in New Orleans East focused on quality of life, litter abatement. We recently had a seminar for our youth, teaching them about not just picking up the litter, but also understanding how it impacts our air and our water. Had a very successful seminar. I'm also the co-chair of New Orleans East Matters task force, where we address a lot of quality of life issues as well with our residents, escalating 311 concerns up to city and state leaders. So we built some really strong partnerships there. And the most recent meeting that I went to was the Morrison pre-construction meeting that was held at the Maria Goretti Church, where they're working on finally fixing up Morrison. So we're excited about that. So it's just important to be accessible. It's important to be in the community. You cannot be disengaged with the community. How are you going to address community concerns if you're not in the community? So you're hearing constituents, you're building trust, and you have a proven track record. So I think in any position, any type of leadership, you have to be engaged with the community. Candace Taylor, thank you.
All right. Mr. Rounds, follow-up question. I don't believe you answered the question. I think you said neighborhood groups are strong, they're important. The question was, which ones have you participated in?
Okay, I hope you're not picking on me here, but
No, I mean,
let me be clear. Let me be
so-
clear to make sure I'm a member of my homeowners association group, which is the Eastover subdivision. I participated in all of them. If I didn't make that clear, I said over the campaign trail, we've been to every meeting, and even prior to that, I've been
to one. It's different from
I
participating.
participate in
I'm
all.
asking about the participation.
And I've been
not
a long
attending.
time member, 20 plus years in all of them. So that's if you're considering participation. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So some of you all have been a part of public service, community activity for quite a while. And as things change, some groups ebb and flow, some disappear because there are other needs, other strengths that you have, or groups of people have. So what I want to know at this point is, which group are you a part of that has a priority for seeing the former Jazzland or Bayou Phoenix come to reality? Or do you have a different view and have a different vision for what should happen with Bayou Phoenix project? Ms. Taylor.
Yeah, thank you. So I know that New Orleans East Matters Economic Development Group, that's been one of their big threes. They've focused on Lincoln Beach, Bayou Phoenix, and the Plaza site. For me, we all have we have a part to play. One person it can't do everything, so you have to rely on the skills, the experience, the knowledge, the expertise of a group collectively. So for me, I think it's important to build relationships in partnership with organizations that are doing economic development focus, those that are also focused on beautification and litter abatement, those that are focused on, enhancing just overall quality of life for the community. So I know that they are working very strategically and advocating for Bayou Phoenix. And so I support the work that they've already done and the work that they are doing. And I'll continue to work with them in that capacity in any way that I can.
Okay. Mr. Rhymes.
Again, to echo the sentiments that's just been said, New Orleans East Matters is a forefront runner group on this matter. They're really taking the lead on this, and I work in conjunction with them to see this accomplished. Additionally, I'm an elected candidate, or an elected, I guess, official, if you want to call it, of the Orleans Parish Democratic Executive Committee. I've been elected twice, and I'm also the nominee for the Democrats. So they've been working steadfastly to move this project forward and work with the investors on creating a opportunity for this project to get done to completion. So I think the total New Orleans East community is a community at large that, listen, we all want to see that project done. It increases home values, it increases beautification, and it brings economic opportunity and jobs. So not just one entity, but the entirety of District 100, the entirety of the homeowners association, they're all working in conjunction to see this project done. What benefits one benefits all, and we're all working together to see that accomplished.
Dr. Boyd Robinson.
Yes. The New Orleans East Matters, as both candidates have spoken about, is a very strong organization in New Orleans East, and I think we all kind of rally up behind them. And I know I'm behind them. My sister-in-law is highly involved in that organization, and they are pushing for all of those projects to come forward. So definitely, I would definitely support all of those endeavors. One of the things that I personally want to see, especially for the Lake Forest area, where we had the Lake Forest Plaza, I would love to see, and what I plan to bring there is a live, work, play community, where we actually bring social programs into there as well, such as youth mentoring programs, invest heavily in education, such as early childhood education, infrastructure. And also, I would love to foster entrepreneurship, where we bring businesses, those that are in New Orleans East that have their own businesses. I'm at awe because I am a professor and I see these students that have these bright minds and these ideas and these innovative thoughts that can really foster something great for New Orleans East. And then looking at, the businesses that's going to be coming to New Orleans East, I'm just excited about the entrepreneurship part and being able to make our citizens shine like they should. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, some of you have run for public office, right? And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. If you don't win, who do you hope will win, and why, and how will you continue to stay involved? Ms. Taylor.
All right, thank you. So I did not come into this election sitting idle. I've already been doing the work in the community. Community cleanups, family-led cleanups, litter abatement seminars. We're working on a Hain Boulevard revitalization initiative. The visionary sits over here to my left, who has worked aggressively toward making Hain Boulevard a safe road for all users. So we've gone from having a conversation to concept design. Studies have been done. So we are working with city and state leaders now to get the revitalization of Hain Boulevard, because we understand that that's going to spur economic growth and it's also going to make it safe for everyone. So we've already been doing work. I'll continue to lead the neighborhood association, bringing the community to the table. And to the question about who, if win or lose, I want the best person who's going to go in, act with integrity, that's going to speak on behalf of the people, period. No holds barred. We have to be community-led at all times. We cannot go in and then disengage. And I'll continue to say that because we've seen that times past. We have to remain engaged in the community. So I'm for whoever is going to push District 100 forward and provide sustainable solutions that we can feel, that we can see, and that are going to last for generations to come.
So that's no one particular person?
No one particular person.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ramos.
That's a great question. Let me say I'm honored to be here. I thought it was important to be here and have this dialogue. The questions are interesting questions, but I would like to say I'm committed to this job. I'm committed to District 100, and I've put in the work and I have the work ethic to get things done. As a civil litigator and trial attorney, I've made those calls. I've made decisions. I've made things happen. Simply put, we have to make things happen in New Orleans East. Everyone that's offered their services to serve great individuals, but who we need in District 100 is somebody that can hit the ground running, that has the experience to move forward in the legislature. We got a short turnaround before session starts. If this thing goes to a runoff, then you'll be several days late getting into the session. So politics are relationship-based. You have to have the relationships and the know-how to get things done. And I want to bring resources back to District 100. As I look around and I see my community, progress has been slow. We have not moved forward the way we needed to. And we understand that at some point it's been an intentional disinvestment in New Orleans East. Well, I want to bring back real reinvestment in real tangible things that change people's lives. Not just lip service, not just talking about things, but actual things that make people's lives better.
And if not you, who?
If not me, the best person that can bring the job done.
All right, Dr. Boyd Robinson.
Yeah, this is a good question. And for me, it's kind of like I've been in the community for over 40 years working. That will not stop. I didn't just get in this race because I wanted to just win a state representative position. I've been doing the work for over 40 years. I've been in my community. I love my community. I've always looked, even from a little girl, I always thought about us as a community. And so nothing will change with that. I will continue to work. I'll continue to go out and feed the homeless. I'll continue to meet the seniors' needs. I'll continue to meet the people's needs in housing, whatever area that they need. I will be there. I will continue to go out on the street with the prostitutes to make sure that their mental state is okay. Those are the things that I'm already doing. I would not stop doing those things. It's in me to do that. And so I believe that, as far as who, like we've all said, the best person, who we want, somebody that's going to go up there and talk for us, get what we need, bring back the resources that we need. And I know that I am the person to do that. So I will not, I don't look to lose, but in case, if, like you can say, if something, whatever, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. We all still got to work together. We got to commit to each other and say that no matter what, let's continue to work together. What we started, let's continue to build.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're going to be moving to closing statements shortly. One of the things that a lot of people may not realize, and I'm sure each of you do, is that state legislators don't make a lot of money. I mean, total compensation might be in the mid-40s, which
The amount is
includes the
$16,000.
part-time salary of $16,800, and
Yep.
you get some voucher expenses, and you get some a daily per diem for session days, but you don't get paid the session days if you're not in session, and you don't know when there might be a special session, and so you have to be available. So my question to you is, how the heck would you have time to do a job that you don't fully control? Because when there is a session, you're expected to be there. And when there's a special session, you're expected to be there. And whether you're in session or not, District 100 plans to see you as their representative and to be in touch and hit you with questions. They might get some congratulations or good thank you now and then, but a lot of it is, can you fix this? How do you expect to have time with other things that you are doing in your life? And I'll start with you, Dr. Boyd Robinson.
Wow. For me, it would not be a problem. One thing that I guess I won't say praise, but I give credit to myself is that I'm very flexible and I'm able to engage in a lot of different things at one time. Currently, I'm a professor. I'm a business owner. I do a lot of things in the community, but everything kind of works together on my own time. So and then I can say financially, I've prepared myself so finances won't be a problem for me. So I'm able to give that time to whatever the meetings, whatever the sessions. I'm able to be there without worrying about how this is going to get taken care of or how that's going to get taken care of. And I've also learned to hire to my weakness. So I have people that work with me for things that I cannot do, they do for me. So I don't see myself having any problems at all, maneuvering, getting through, being at the meetings, being in the sessions, and still getting everything else done that's needed to be done, because I've already done that.
All right,
Thank you.
Mr. Rounds.
Thank you for that question as well. Well, as you know, as a successful business owner and attorney, my firm is set up to optimize work even while I'm in the legislature. I think the unique thing about me that sets me apart from my opponents is also that I am an attorney. So I understand policy, I understand legislation, and I understand what the laws actually mean, meaning that A lobbyist can't just come to me at the 12th hour and throw a bill in front of my face and say, this is why you need to support this. But I have the ability to digest it and check and see if it's in the best interest of the residents of District 100. So that does make me uniquely qualified to go in the legislature and be able to function immediately and bring relief back to a district that desperately needs it. Listen, District 100 is in crisis. So we need reform, we need change, and we need it right now. The time is now. We cannot wait any longer. I'm Kenya Rounds on number 12 on your ballot, and I ask for your vote on tomorrow.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so for me right now, I'm currently a PhD candidate, so I'm working on my PhD, and I'm also working in the community. That's what I do. I'm already doing that. So when we get into talk about state representative, you have to do the work on the front end. So I'm thinking, if I'm providing real-time information to my constituents consistently, right, that takes away some of that. Well, what's going on? What's happening over here with that? Providing town halls, meeting with the community frequently. So those are some things that you do on the front end to ensure that even if the schedule or we get called into a special session or something happens, you have to be flexible. You have to already have systems in place that are going to run smoothly, whether you're there physically or not. So I'm already thinking about systems that I've already scheduled and created on how I'm going to continue engagement with the community. If something happens with the session and we have to go here or there, the information is going to still be given. They're still going to know what they need to do to advocate and what's going on at the in Baton Rouge. And the other thing I'll say is, that's it. Candace Taylor, number 13 on the ballot.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you all cooperating with the time so we can get as much in as possible. So want to know about your attention to the legislature. So I'm going to narrow it down very specifically to a practice that's been in the state legislature for quite a long time. There are green cards and there are red cards for people who are not legislators, but members of the public or a group or something like that. When is the last time that you displayed a green card or a red card in the state legislature? And why did you do it? And what was it about? Dr. Boyd Robinson.
I'm going to have to ask for a little bit explanation on the green and red cards.
The green cards are in support of a particular bill. The red cards are in opposition.
Okay,
But have you done the physical display in the state legislature?
I have not actually. Well, I'll go back to this. I did take my students to a forum in the White House.
Dr. Boyd Robinson, the question is, did you display a red card or a green card for anything?
Okay.
At any point?
Okay. So I have not. I have not.
Thank you. That's
I have not.
Attorney Round.
Yes, sir. As a student at Southern University advocating on behalf of student issues back in 1993, I was able to go to the state legislature in my political science department class, and I was part of a contingent that did, with our instructor, that did submit a green card or a red card for issues that affected.
Did you submit a green card or a red card?
We did as a group. Me personally,
Okay.
I did not.
Oh, you have not. Okay. Ms. Taylor, have you submitted a red card or a green card?
Is this a yes or no question?
Well, it's
So-
either you did. I mean, you can
No,
be there
so,
and
yeah,
observe, but
right.
the question is,
No, right.
did you feel so strongly that you submitted a green
Mm-hmm.
card to say, yes, please support this, or no, do not support that, which is different from
Gotcha.
being in the room?
Watched the sessions, communicated with my legislators, but I have not submitted a green or red card.
Okay, all right. We're going to wrap up with a closing statement. And in the closing statement, I want you to address why you're the best candidate. I want you to address something that you really appreciate Jason Hughes doing as a state legislator, and something that's left undone that you want to work on. So we'll start with you, Dr. Boyd Robinson.
Okay, so as you heard in my opening statements, you kind of heard some of my background and some of my credentials. And as I was saying, these experiences have basically taught me that effective leadership means listening, collaborating, and showing up consistently. District 100 deserves a representative who understands environmental injustice, which I work with, economic empowerment, education, housing, community well being, not just as talking points, but as something that we've actually been involved in. I'm running for state representative but to bring that same dedication. As far as Jason Hughes, I am excited about the education legislature that he introduced because that is one of the areas that I'm strongly implementing, investing more in education. So I am Dr. Patricia Boyd Robinson. I respectfully ask for your support and trust as we move forward together. I would love to be your next state representative, Dr. Patricia Boyd Robinson, number 9 on your ballot.
Thank you, Mr. Rounds.
Thank you, sir. And let me thank WBOK for hosting us and giving us an opportunity to share our plans and our dreams. But District 100, let me say this. It all starts with vision. We need to have the vision to improve our community. Our community has suffered, and it suffered for lack of vision. My vision is this. We understand we have to lower insurance premiums. How do you do that? You have to open the marketplace for competition. The only way to drive rates down is to bring other insurance carriers into the state and allow them to competitively bid against the big insurance company. That's the only way I see us lowering these insurance premiums. I think we have to increase the Fortify Roof program. That needs to be funded completely. What Matthew Willard did was a great thing, but we have to fund that to completion. Thirdly, New Orleans East has to get its fair share of resources. We know that New Orleans East has been getting the short end of the stick for a long time. So I want to be that voice. I want to be that fighter. I want to fight for the community to bring those resources that we so desperately need and deserve. As far as Rep. Hughes, he's done a great job sitting on the Appropriations Committee. He's brought us resources, and I want to continue that trend of bringing resources. I'm Kenya Rounds, number 12. I'll see you at the polls on tomorrow. Thank you.
Ms. Taylor.
All right, thank you. So there was a season of my life where I had to navigate single motherhood. And hindsight didn't really realize the impact that policy has on particular families and communities. So fast forward, despite those challenges, by the grace of God, I'm so thankful I've been able to obtain my bachelor's and my master's degree, and I'm working on my PhD. So for me, this is a very intentional decision that has been made. When you have experienced certain things in your life, you can speak to it in a way that will resonate with individuals across the aisle. And so I just appreciate this opportunity, being here and just being in this space at this time. I'm grateful. And what I'll say for Representative Hughes, he helped us with the Hain Boulevard Revitalization Initiative. He advocated for us, worked with us, and still working with us. So we're grateful for all the things that Representative Hughes does. And strengthening code enforcement from the state level to the local level. Candace Taylor, number 13 on the ballot. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Woo!
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys, and thank you to the
Thank you.
listeners of
Thank you,
WBOK.
thank you,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Next time I will not sit here. I'm sitting over there.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
making
Thank
yourselves
you.
available.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for putting your names
Thank
up
you.
for another layer of public service. Very important that across the city we have good representation in Baton Rouge, where the battles can be tough, particularly important for District 100 to have the right representative, the right fighter, the right person who's going to push for District 100 residents and voters, because the voters choose you, but they're residents that don't.
Yeah.
But we wish everybody would participate. If you're a registered voter in District 100, the time to get your mail-in ballot in is 4:30 p.m., not 4:31, 4:30 p.m. today, or go to the polls. They open at 7 a.m. I know some of y'all are going to go to parades and do other things. Get that vote in. It's really
Amen.
important.
Amen.
All right, we're going to wrap up, and upcoming next, we'll have representatives from SUNNO, and we're going to be talking with New Orleans and Company and we're going to be talking with New Orleans and Company's Kelly Schultz, first Senior Vice President of Communications. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Mostly sunny and warmer as we head into the weekend. Highs for today, 69 to 71 degrees. Again, mostly sunny. Winds coming from the south for us. There's a small craft advisory, so careful if you're out in the water. Then for tonight, only dropping to 42 to 48 degrees. For Saturday, 62 to 65 degrees. And then by Sunday, warming up to near 70. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month from the community scientist and Rise St. James. This month's focus is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs, formed when fuels like oil, gas, wood, or trash are burned. These chemicals can enter the air we breathe and settle into our soil and water. Many PAHs are known carcinogens, adding to the health burdens faced by communities living near industry. Learn how to protect your health at risestjames.org.
It's Mardi Gras time, and we're taking it out on the parade route. Meet me, Kimber White Dupree, Endymion Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. outside the University Medical Center. I'll be broadcasting live in front of the parade route, and special team of medical professionals will be stopping by to give you tips to keep you healthy this carnival season. Don't miss this special edition of LCMC Keeping It Well Cafe and WBOK broadcasting live on the Endymion Parade Route, Saturday, February 14th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. University Medical Center. Tomorrow starts here.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
In New Orleans, experience isn't a slogan. It's the difference between promises and results. John Johnson has already delivered for this city. As a state senator and chairman of the Revenue and Fiscal Affairs Committee, John Johnson authored a $215 million legislative package that rebuilt the Superdome, constructed the Saints training facility, and built the New Orleans Arena. Projects that fueled jobs and economic growth. He secured $135 million to complete the Morial Convention Center, $10 million to make Jazzland and Six Flags a reality, $6 million to expand SUNNO, and $30 million to build the Technology and Research Park at UNO. That's not talk, that's results. John Johnson also brought more than $185 million in district improvements, strengthened higher education, and authored a constitutional amendment approved by voters to help limit state debt.
I've never believed in promising what I can't deliver. I believe in doing the work and getting results for New Orleans and St. Bernard Parish.
With seniority, experience, and a proven record, John Johnson is ready to return to the state Senate, not as a freshman, but as a leader. John Johnson for state Senate.
Paid for by John Johnson for Senate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period, so they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review.
For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
Hello, this is Ed Murray, and I'm a candidate for State Representative District 97. I'm running because our families deserve a fair shot. New Orleans is changing, and it's time our leadership reflects the future. I'm a father, an attorney, and my commitment is to this community. In the legislature, I'll fight to lower the cost of insurance, strengthen our public schools, and grow an economy that works for everyone, not just a few. I want my son and every child to be able to live, work, and thrive right here in New Orleans. On February 7th, please vote number 8 for Ed Murray for State Representative District 97, number 8 on the ballot. This message is paid for by the committee to elect Ed Murray.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. California could decide control of the House. The Supreme Court has cleared the state to use a new congressional map that may give Democrats up to 5 extra seats. GOP Assemblyman Carl DeMaio calls the move the death of democracy.
You're going to have millions of Californians lose any sort of representation.
Voters approved Prop 50 to redraw districts. White Sox legend Frank Thomas is blasting the team for leaving him off a Black History Month graphic. Thomas says the franchise ignored his records and contributions despite him holding major club stats and winning back-to-back MVPs. And Don Lemon will speak at the 2026 On Air Fest after his arrest during an ICE protest in Minnesota. He'll lead a no-nonsense talk on the shifting media landscape on February 25th, with the festival starting February 23rd. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton. It's 8:10 a.m. What a lively conversation with the candidates who want to represent those of you who live, work, and play in State Representative District 100 to follow now Councilman Jason Hughes. We are going to go into conversation with Kelly Schultz, Senior Vice President from New Orleans and Company, and tell us about some of the exciting things that have been going on and are coming up. Of course, this is a very, very busy season for tourism and hospitality. Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
Hey, Will. Good morning. Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi
I'm
Gras.
doing well.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So we've got a lot of, at one of my workplaces, there's king cake almost every day.
Me too.
It's like, oh my God, one day we had like 5 of them in the break room. It's like, it's dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. But of course, all of this is very important for our economy and the state's economy. And so we've had a lot going on. So can you tell us about Washington Mardi Gras, which happened not long ago, and then we can move on into some of the things that are going on around here?
Sure. Well, look, I can relate to the king cakes. You know, we have tons of king cakes at New Orleans and Company
I bet you
offices
do.
too. And you know, we actually, one of the things that we do around this time of year is to send Mardi Gras, to send king cakes to our contacts all over the country. So journalists and customers and meeting planners and travel agents, and they love it. I mean, we always know when those king cakes hit their desk because they start calling us and saying, oh my gosh, we love you guys. This is the best cake. So that's a fun way to kind of bring a little New Orleans Mardi Gras to them wherever they are in the country.
Right.
But yeah, we just had Washington Mardi Gras. So Our CEO, Walt Leger, and our Executive Vice President, Alice Glenn, made the trip, and it was a jam-packed trip a couple of weeks ago. Many business leaders and elected officials and were participating in this event, and it's really just a great opportunity to sort of connect with kind of the who's who of Louisiana. Everyone was there, coming together. For us, it was a great opportunity to sort of advance our goals at New Orleans and Company, to bring visitors to the city, and also to talk about our vision plan, which we launched, called Vision 2035. And that's all about making New Orleans a good place to visit, but most importantly, a really good place to live and learn and work.
Wonderful. And you had an exciting event with 1,000 musicians?
Oh my goodness, this event was so incredible. We hosted Rockin' 1000 last Saturday night, and it was the first time this event was ever held in the United States. Fabio Zaffagnini, the CEO, I think you interviewed him on your show a couple months ago. Fabio is this guy in Italy who 10 years ago had a vision to have his favorite band, the Foo Fighters, come and perform in his small town of Italy. And he sort of did it as a joke and said, I'm going to get a bunch of musicians together to perform their music and maybe they'll show up. And they actually did show up. And so what started as like a viral stunt or a joke turned into this global movement called Rockin' 1000, where 1,000 musicians from all walks of life, these are not professional musicians, they're school teachers and retired truck drivers and people that just have a passion for music, they come together and perform. But this had never been done in the U.S. before until New Orleans last weekend, and we brought it here, and it was unbelievable.
Wow. Another biggie for New Orleans. It's a global event. It's been happening in other places, and of all the places in the United States, New Orleans was the one place to host
Right. We were very grateful to them for choosing New Orleans. And of course, they said, well, look, when we looked at the United States, what better city to do that than New Orleans, where music is so much a part of our heritage and our culture. And Harry Connick Jr. was part of a special opening act for the show. He was incredible. He brought out several New Orleans musicians and just incredible talent. Like you had the St. Aug Marching Band. You had the young people from Roots of Music. He brought in Dumpster Funk and Cowboy Mouth and did this unbelievable New Orleans opening. And then the 1,000 musicians came onto the floor of the Superdome to the song When the Saints Go Marching In. It was really powerful. And you had 1,000 musicians on the floor of the Superdome performing in unison all of these popular, iconic rock songs. And you would have thought they'd been performing together for years, and they just came together for this one special event. It's pretty incredible.
Incredible. Of course, it's Mardi Gras time. So tell us about what you all see from the vantage point of New Orleans and Company, because Mardi Gras Carnival is a big deal for so many people, and it means a lot for a lot of people's livelihoods as well. And of course, big fun. So what is going on that we might not know, or what are some of the things that are continuing to go on and grow? Tell us a bit about this season from your New Orleans and Company vantage point.
Sure. Well, we have a lot going on. And one of the things that we try and do at Mardi Gras time is to explain to people what they may not know about Mardi Gras. Mm-hmm. And one of those things is that it's a very actually family-friendly event. Many people don't realize that. And so one of the things we try and do is educate visitors and travelers from all over the world that if you come to New Orleans, there are things that you may not know. One of that is it's actually a family-friendly celebration. And we talk about, the crowds that line the Uptown Parade route, and there are families and, grandparents and kids and generations of families who've been meeting at that one spot and having their traditions. We also talk about the Mardi Gras Indians, the Black Masking Indians. Many people are not aware of that beautiful, sacred tradition. And so we try and educate them on what that means and how important it is. And that is a huge part of the carnival season that many people may not realize. And as you said, it is a big economic impact. One of the things that's good or unique about this year is that next weekend, for the big weekend, Lundi Gras falls on the President's Day holiday. So we've been working to encourage travelers from around the U.S. You've got a 3-day weekend. It's Valentine's Day. It's President's Day. So why don't you take advantage of that and come to New Orleans and don't go home on Sunday. Stay through Lundi Gras and Mardi Gras and really getting them to stay longer, use their hard-earned dollars, and enjoy the city for a longer period of time and get the full experience of a Mardi Gras day in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's a special opportunity. I hadn't realized that until a short time ago. But for we here as Mardi Gras, for a lot of other people, it's just another Tuesday.
That's right.
But a lot of people look forward to those holidays and decide how they can spend them. And New Orleans, of course, is a great place to be if you're taking a day off and want a long weekend. And for those who might have experienced Mardi Gras 20 years ago, come and see something new. Yeah, because it's always evolving.
Some people have said, like, what do you mean you guys market Mardi Gras? Don't people just show up? And we're like, no, it's very much something that we strategically market and advertise to visitors because, and just like everything, whether we're promoting a Jazz Fest or Rockin' 1000 or Essence or any sort of activity throughout the year, it does take work and promotion, even something as iconic as Mardi Gras, because there's so much more competition out there these days. The travelers, they're getting bombarded with ads to go skiing at this time of year or perhaps take a cruise. Like there's so many competing destinations out there. So it does actually take work and promotion to get those travelers to choose. If they have that long weekend, why should they choose New Orleans as opposed to any other number of great destinations that are out there?
So how are things looking so far from your vantage point since Carnival season officially started January 6th, and now we're in the thick of things, heading down to Mardi Gras on February 17th? What are you seeing?
Well, things are looking good. One of the things that we always do to sort of get a gauge on economic impact is we survey the 26,000 hotel rooms that are in the French Quarter and downtown area. So we ask those hotels what their occupancy is looking like. And what they're telling us now is over 90% for next weekend. Ooh. So that's, if you think about 26,000 rooms at over 90% occupancy, that's a lot of people. And that is a lot of people who, again, are choosing to come here, who are spending their hard-earned dollars. And the hotel occupancy is one measure. But if you've got those folks in the hotels, that means they are going to our restaurants, they're going to music clubs, they're hopefully, shopping in our small businesses, they're exploring different neighborhoods. Maybe they're shopping or purchasing art or different things from street vendors. So it is a big economic impact, and that doesn't even include if you think about the people that come in but aren't at a hotel. They may stay at a short-term rental. They may be with friends and family. So that hotel occupancy, just one measure, but it's looking really strong for next weekend.
Wow. Great. Well, you also mentioned the Mardi Gras Indians, the Black Masking Indians, as an important part of Carnival. There's so many people who participate with parades and crews and events and walking parades and all, but there's a whole nother part of the Carnival season, including some people who go to parades and also take part with some of the Black Masking Indian activities, and some who that's what they do. They really don't go to parades. So talk with us about that and how that fits in to what you all pitch as a part of coming to New Orleans.
Yeah, in fact, we're working with a national television crew that wants to come and cover cover Mardi Gras for one of the networks, and what they were particularly interested was learning about and respectfully observing the Mardi Gras Indian traditions. And so part of what we do is really just try and educate people on what this is, and that it is a very important part of Mardi Gras, maybe something that most people don't understand or associate with Mardi Gras. And just, there's so many things we could talk about with the black masking Indians, but just their suits. I mean, trying to explain that every suit is sewn by hand and that it can take a full year or more to put together these just masterpieces, and that sometimes these suits can weigh 150 pounds, and that each suit tells a story, and it's about history, and it's really these exquisite works of art that are part of this celebration. And so it's really an honor for us to be able to help share these stories and educate people on what this is and encourage them to come and experience it.
Yeah, and for those New Orleanians who have not been around that, I strongly suggest that you do more than drive to where they might be, sit in the car and take a look as they go on by, because you're missing some of the intricacy of what Kelly's talking about if you don't get up close and see these costumes. It's remarkable. It is really, really remarkable. And you really can't say that you've seen an entire tribe by looking at one person, because these suits are very different and they change year to year. And it's quite a bit of artistry, quite a bit of work that goes into each of these. I know other than Carnival, we've got some other things going on. One of those things I want to make sure we get to before we wrap up is Recycle That. So I believe this is the fourth year of Recycle That. It's New Orleans, so, we got that, this, and that, and we got Recycle That, too.
Well, everything sounds better with that on the end, right?
Yep.
So, yes, Recycle That it's in the fourth year, and this is something we're really proud to be part of at New Orleans and Company, and we work with a local organization called Grounds Crew, and there are lots of big corporate sponsors, and this is something we've done in partnership with the city for 4 years now, and it's really about making Mardi Gras more sustainable, more environmentally friendly, and doing that through recycling efforts. And if you think about, the amount of waste that is produced during a Mardi Gras parade with the throws and cans and I don't think you're supposed to have glass bottles on the parade route, but they recycle glass bottles out there. And, just the numbers have been really impressive over the years, just thousands and thousands of tons of materials that would have gone into a landfill have now been recycled. And so that is a good thing for our community. It's also something that many visitors have said, gosh, Mardi Gras is great, but there's so much, waste produced from the trash and the cans and the throws and the glass and cups and all of these things. And so this is something that we're letting our visitors know that, New Orleans is an innovative city. We know how to put on these massive, spectacular events like Mardi Gras, but we also want to do it in a way that's environmentally responsible. And so there'll be recycling stations set up along the Uptown Parade route. This will take place this weekend, the 7th and 8th, and also next weekend. So people will see those stations and they'll be able to put in their cans and bottles and any throws that they don't want to take home.
Well, I strongly encourage that, because too many things are happening with our world globally, and we can do better in New Orleans and the southern Louisiana area. And any one thing that you can put in that vat would be helpful. Kelly, there's so much more happening, and you and your colleagues have an incredible opportunity to work hard for us, and as you work, have some fun. So what special will you be doing in this season, since you promote so many things, you can't go to all all of them. What are you going to be doing?
Well, one of the most fun things that I get to do as part of this job, and is on Mardi Gras Day, we do a satellite media tour where we talk to television stations all over the country, and we say, as you said earlier, everywhere else is a normal Tuesday, and here it's Mardi Gras. So I get to stand on our balcony at 2020 St. Charles Avenue, where Rex and Zulu roll by, and do 25 or 26 consecutive live television interviews with stations all over the country. And, I've got feathers on my head and Mardi Gras beads on, and it's so much fun. And we get to just talk about, everywhere else it's a normal Tuesday. Here it's Mardi Gras. What does that mean? And really we do it so that people will be inspired to plan a trip here for next Mardi Gras or hopefully sooner. So that is a work assignment for me, but it's also a lot of fun, and it's a big honor to New Orleans is my hometown, and to be able to stand there and speak to all of these viewers all over the country about how special our city is. It's a lot of fun.
Great. What a great gig.
Yeah, right.
All right.
It is a pretty good gig.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kelly. We appreciate you and New Orleans Company and the work that you do. Thank you for sharing with our WBOK family of listeners. Have a joyous Friday and an even better weekend.
Thanks, Will. Great to talk to you as always. Happy Mardi Gras.
Lord's blessings. All right, folks, we're going to break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with our friends from Liberty Bank. They always are on point to keep us financially helpful. The talk line is 504-582-9422. This is WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good morning and happy Friday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. The New Orleans Police Department is investigating a deadly crash on I-10 westbound near the Little Woods exit. We're told it happened just before 11:30 p.m. There is no word on what caused that crash or how many people were involved. Then a former teacher at the Academy of the Sacred Hearts in New Orleans is waking up behind bars charged with sex between an educator and a student. 29-year-old Teddy Page will appear in court today to have her bond set. In a statement from the school, officials say as soon as they learned of the accusations, Page was escorted off campus and fired. They say they then notified the NOPD. All right, get ready for the first big weekend of parades. Revelers can enjoy their favorite crews rolling in New Orleans, Metairie, and on the North Shore. The crew of Cork rolls at 3 in the French Quarter today. Then it is the crew of Ocean hitting the Uptown Parade route around 5. They are followed by the crew of Cleopatra. And finally, a huge congratulations to number 9. Last night, Drew Brees was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The legendary Saints quarterback is the only first ballot Hall of Famer for the Saints, and his resume includes a Super Bowl win, a Super Bowl MVP title, and many more accolades. That is a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
New Orleans, are you ready for a voice that says what you're thinking? Who that, you might ask? Arrington Gavin. That's right, I'm your guy, host of the Arrington Gavin Show, giving you so much filled with bold opinions, real conversations, and zero sugarcoating. We're going to be diving into the issues that matter, politics, pop culture, and all the above, unfiltered and unafraid. Catch the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Fridays, right here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Mostly sunny and warmer as we head into the weekend. Highs for today, 69 to 71 degrees. Again, mostly sunny. Winds coming from the south force. There's a small craft advisory, so careful if you're out in the water. Then for tonight, only dropping to 42 to 48 degrees. For Saturday, 62 to 65 degrees. And then by Sunday, warming up to near 70. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton, and it's 8:33 a.m. What a great conversation with Kelly Schultz from New Orleans Company about all the things that are going on. And looks like our wonderful city is going to be highlighted quite a bit with all this national media and international media attention that's going to be coming up. Well, we are going into conversation with our friend Angel Thibodeau Burns, Chief Community Development Officer from Liberty Bank and Trust. And she's brought a colleague along with her. And today we have Colin Hines, Director of Sales and Service for Liberty Insurance.
Yes, who knew?
What? Insurance?
Yes, who knew? Liberty Bank and insurance all in the same sentence.
Oh, my. All righty. So we're going to be talking about Liberty Bank, as we always do when Burns is here, and with friends. But we're going to pay some particular attention to insurance today.
Yes. Good morning, first of all, and Happy New Year, Will. It's good to see you again. One of the things I think about is how hard we all work. You know, we work to provide for our children, our families. Some of us are in the sandwich generation where we're caring for our elders and caring for children at the same time. We're trying to build generational wealth. We're trying to make sure that our children are doing better than us. And in a snap, all of that can fall apart if we don't have what? Insurance. We've got to have a will. We've got to think about if we need a trust. There's so many things that we talk about when I come here and we talk. But one of the things that we need to think about is the importance of having insurance. And there's so many different kinds. And I'm so proud to learn so much about how important this is to Liberty Bank, and how Liberty Bank, I believe, has been investing in this. And Colin will have to correct me. I believe it's since 1999. So I'd like to just pivot and ask Colin to jump in and talk about what this means to you and why you think it's important.
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much, and what a pleasure to be here.
Happy welcome
Friday.
To WBOK.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, and thank you so much. To kind of go in on that, like you said, Liberty has been in the insurance realm for about over 26 years now, coming in 1999. So we have fortunately but unfortunately seen Katrina, seen Ida, seen how those markets have changed, and as we all know, living in Southeast Louisiana here, that it has not been the best of times in insurance recently. But I do have a little bit of light today, saying that I think we are coming out of that, and we've seen a lot of strides in the property side of the market.
Well, let's pause on that.
Yes.
Did y'all hear? Colin's coming in with some light.
Some good
on
news.
The insurance.
Some good news.
Good?
Insurance and good news in the same sentence.
Good insurance news. Oh boy. Okay. Let's hear it. We're ready.
Yes. So obviously, what I'm talking about mostly here is on the property side. So we're talking homeowners, we're talking commercial property, those type of exposures. And Ida, as we all know, was terrible, really affected the city negatively, and we've obviously had a great comeback from there. But insurance is one of those things that's been holding us back, since Ida, I would say. And the market is finally softening. We have some carriers coming back in. We have basically a situation where Citizens will not be your best option, even though it is the market of last resort. So those are all good things that I would definitely consider light in this, what has been a dark market. A hard market, as we call it in insurance, but now we are coming into a soft market. So very exciting for us and for all of our premiums heading in the right direction.
That's exciting, even on a personal note, because I came back home in 2021. We bought the overpriced home. Houses, that's a whole nother conversation. Yes, we bought the home, and then the insurance just shocked us. And then it doubled. Our insurance doubled a year after being in this home, and it completely knocked out our the escrow. It completely knocked out our savings for those things. And then after that, the insurance provider we had dropped us, and we ended up with Louisiana Citizens. And so it's just this can devastate families, because it's one thing when you budget for the mortgage, but you have to budget for the insurance too. And so what I have learned now coming home to Liberty is Liberty can shop us around and find us better insurance. And so do you want to talk, Colin, a little bit about the process? You know, if someone is interested, they might, like me, you know, had a mortgage with Liberty and didn't even realize that Liberty offers the insurance. Like, what would the process be like? How does that go?
Well, that's a great question, and you know, a lot of people. I mean, a lot of us have mortgages and things like that, but the insurance sometimes can get forgotten about or fall behind. So certainly, it's one of those things I advise all my clients and customers to stay on top of that every year. But the process, to actually get that quote, coming back and so where you can actually shop it would be talking with an independent agent is my first order of advice there. And certainly the reason for that is because they can shop multiple companies. We have very few admitted markets in Louisiana right now, which just means it's backed up by the state. So it is important to shop all the different companies that we have there. And like I said, Liberty is an independent licensed agency, so we can shop hundreds of companies literally through brokerages, through independent contracts. And that's really where you want to go in this market because it can kind of get the spread in the whole spectrum of the market.
Good. So if somebody has an interest in buying a home and they have identified a neighborhood, they haven't identified the home, but they have a good down payment, they have a good credit score, history, and also it's not somebody on the margins. They're in pretty good shape. What's your advice for them before they select a home, and how do they keep insurance in mind before they buy that home so that they're not shocked after they purchase?
So you can afford the whole home,
Right.
The mortgage, the
right.
taxes, and the insurance.
That's right, yeah. So what's your advice there, Colin?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Will. I think the first advice, a good realtor obviously can send you in the right direction, but obviously a question that that pretty much anyone selling a house should be able to share with you and should be willing to share is what are they paying for insurance currently when you're buying that house? The second things that I would look at and something that's become, ever more important, especially since Ida, is look at that roof age. Look at the condition of that roof. When you have that inspection done, before you buy the home, really look at that roof because we're seeing now that's probably the biggest thing underwriters, companies are looking for when they want to, offer a good quote on a lower rate. The roof is the number one thing they're looking at for damage. And that is really a result of good roofs are always a good thing, but Ida was such a big wind event. If that roof has not been replaced or at least repaired since Ida, that's going to be a red flag for a lot of companies. So even if it's just getting a roofer out there to really inspect it and maybe even do some touch-up work, that's a big thing to go along with the other updates of the house, the electrical, the wiring, the plumbing, the AC. You want to make sure all those things at least have been updated and looked at by licensed contractors.
So what would you consider for property insurance purposes, what would you consider a reasonable length of time for an update? Is an update something that's been done in 20 years, 10, 5, 3?
Gotcha. That's another great question. And really, most companies, they're looking for 25 years, and more recent than that. So anything over 25, it's going to limit some companies that will even not offer you quotes because of that. And I will say to that point, the roof is a little more important. It's one thing if the electrical hasn't been done on a house, built in the late 90s, that's probably fine. As long as no Katrina water or anything like that has been in there. But a roof from 1999 in this environment in Southeast Louisiana with all the wind and thunderstorms we get, not to mention the hurricanes, I think the roof is the main thing. And that can really be a selling point when an agent's trying to sell that to a company or an underwriter is, hey, this roof has just been done. It's beautiful. I got pictures of it. Anything like that can go a long way.
So if somebody's looking at a house and they think it's overpriced, but they have a fortified roof, or they have not a fortified roof, but a roof that's been done only 7 years ago. And so the seller is like, hey, you're going to do better with insurance. And that's why we're having this asking price. How should that buyer look at that? Because, insurance is what you do. So how should that buyer look at that from an insurance perspective?
Well, like I said, the fortified roof, I'm glad you brought that up. If it's got a fortified roof, that's really a nice perk to have on buying a house, because there are a lot of companies that will give a credit for that. And there is still some programs to get some funding for that, through the state and whatnot. As a buyer looking at that, I would be very happy that it's, certainly within 10 years. I would say, from the insurance perspective, there is a little bit of the red flag just because it hasn't been done since Ida. So that is same sort of thing. I'd want to have that checked up on, but again, a good inspection should do that as well. So,
Okay. So talk with us about some of the other types of insurance that are important for homes and for property, like flood insurance.
yes, flood insurance. I would say, we are ahead of the rest of the nation, I would say, with the education on flood insurance. But still, there is a misconception that a lot of people have that if I have homeowners insurance and it floods, I'm going to have some sort of coverage there. And unfortunately, that is not the case. Like I said, most people here in New Orleans remember that, especially from Katrina, all the litigation with that. But flood insurance is so important, and a lot of people may see their premiums, because they are rated by the federal government flood maps. So even if you see that premium is very low, some people assume it's a very low risk of flood, which is true. But I think it's important to remember where we are at geographically, and the climate that we do have here in New Orleans. I think we all know that we could all flood in New Orleans in just a few hours on the right day.
Absolutely. Yeah, a hard rain and it's flooding somewhere. We're going to go to a break, have a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more with our friends from Liberty Bank, Angel Thibodeau Burns and Colin Hines. Learn more about what Liberty has to offer in terms of insurance, and we'll look at some good practices as well. It's 8:45 a.m. This is Will Sutton. This is the Good Morning Show, WBOK 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show, and welcome for those of you who are just tuning in. We're in conversation with Angel Thibodeau Burns and Colin Hines. We're talking about Liberty Bank and Trust, and specifically insurance. So we talked about the property insurance, flood insurance. There are some other types of insurance that it'd be good for us to touch upon, including automobile. And before we get out of here, let's get to some good practices as well. All right, so auto and other.
Yes. I think everyone's favorite type of insurance, auto, right? But I think everyone knows we got to have it. We need it. So one of the big things that I love to point out, especially in Louisiana, is unfortunately we are one of the states with the lowest insurance rate. So meaning there are the most people who are underinsured or have no insurance at all driving around, which of course we don't love that, but I think we all are aware of that risk driving, anywhere, but especially here, just statistically speaking. And because of that, there are some coverages that we can put on an auto policy that I would recommend everyone has everywhere, but especially here. And that is that underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage. And this type of coverage protects you if someone does hit you. Are you in an accident with someone who does not have insurance? Or also might have limits that are not adequate for them, or for an accident, that you're in of that size. So that's something really important to have, and it's a coverage that your insurance would have. It's not related to anyone else's. So even if they can't pay for it, they don't have the insurance, you may not have there's no point in going to hire an attorney or something at that point if there's no money. But you can insure that for yourself and have that protection for everyone in the car with you. So that's a huge coverage here, and it is used very often. I see it all the time, just with claims that we have within Liberty and elsewhere. But it's super important to have that, and it's not crazy expensive compared to the rest of your premiums there. So definitely take a look at that next time you're looking at your insurance, or if you're giving Liberty a call, we would love to look at it for you.
Wonderful.
You know what, Will? And Colin, I have a first semester freshman at LSU, but I was a nervous wreck when he was a junior in high school learning how to drive, not in general, but in this city. We literally did driver's ed and all that good stuff, but we also had to teach him in this city, when the light turns green, you don't go.
Right.
You wait and you make sure that not 1, 2, 3, or 4 people run the red light, but you wait for people to stop running the red light, and then you go. So I was driving, and I kind of have a heavy foot. I was on the interstate yesterday, and I won't say how fast I was driving, but there were 2 cars that drove so fast. When they drive so fast past you, your car actually vibrates and moves. That I don't know if that's a post-Katrina thing. I don't know when this happened. I don't know when this evolved. But you have to be very careful in this city. And, I love this city, but you have to be very careful. And things happen, and you see the accidents. I love this city. But have you noticed the bumpers? They're bumpers.
Yes.
The car bumpers. They're just sitting on the curb all over the place.
Right.
So if you don't have insurance, please get insurance. Please consider Liberty. And please consider, what's the type of insurance you just mentioned for the uninsured?
Uninsured and underinsured.
Yeah.
Please consider that, because what if you have the right insurance, but you don't have this insurance? And bad things happen to good people, all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's touch on some good practices
Yes.
Before we wrap up. We're coming up on the end of the show, and want to make sure we get some good practices mentioned.
Yes, so I think the first thing is talk with your agent. Have regular communication with them. I recommend at least twice a year, but really, quarterly is a great thing to keep in mind. The other thing is when you have those conversations, be honest with your agent. Tell them any changes that have happened. If even there's some different people living in your house, you got, family in town or something like that for an extended period. Those are all things your agent should be aware of, because it can change, just your situation. And then lastly, I would say use one agent to service all of your policies, because your agents, if you do have multiple, need to be in communication as well. And I can tell you, as an insurance agent for over 12, 15 years now, agents don't love to talk to each other. I can tell you, they always feel
you want them to talk to you.
Exactly. And I think
get to know your agent, build a relationship.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. So what else should we know?
Well, I love the fact that Colin talked about bundling the insurance. And so the person can get to know you, you build a relationship. But before I get into Our Money Matters, because I can't leave without talking about Our Money Matters. Colin, if someone knows they believe in Liberty Bank, but they just didn't know we had the insurance, how did they get in touch with you?
Yeah,
Okay.
So the best number to reach us at is 504-240-5223. And you can also reach us on the web at insurewithliberty.net.
Woo! Good. Easy to remember.
Yes.
Insurewithliberty.net. All right. Well, this is the Good Morning Show. What a great conversation. We learned even more about insurance today. Every time I have you all in, I think I know something about the subject, and then I learn something else. So thank you for coming in, helping us and our WBOK family of listeners. Up next, we're going to be talking with some representatives from SUNNO about a fantastic exhibit, and then we'll make room for the front porch. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Decades ago, Black entrepreneur Richelieu Dennis founded Sundial. It's the brand behind the popular Shea Moisture line of products. But after building the business into a big success, Dennis sold it to a major company, Unilever. a move that confused a lot of people in the black community. In a conversation on Bloomberg, Dennis explained the reason why he made the move and why he's continued to make similar moves.
The impact of having sold Sundial to Unilever mean that we were able to invest in Honey Pot, grow and scale that business. We were able to invest in Mayel, build and scale that business. Both of those businesses are the highest dollar value transaction that a black woman has had in this country.
In 2017, Dennis founded Essence Ventures, an independent black-focused consumer tech company. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton. It is 8:55 a.m. Yes, we got 5 minutes before we are allowed to drive more than 20 miles per hour in the school zone. Keep those babies safe. Let them get to school. Be careful, be careful, be careful. We're going to jump into conversation right now about wonderful opportunity for you all to be aware of and go and see. We got a King Tut exhibit over at SUNNO. So with us we have Erica Witt, who's the Director and Chief Curator of the SUNNO Museum of Art, and we've got Darren Smith Jr., Director of Marketing and Communications with SUNNO. So what we got going on, Miss Erica?
Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for having us on the show. Again, my name is Erica Witt. I'm the Director and Chief Curator at Southern University at New Orleans Museum of Art. We are a museum that's 3 years old, opened on October 27th, 2022. And we have something special coming to the city of New Orleans, and it's actually very special and rare. So we have From the Nile to the Mississippi, King Tutankhamun and the Giovanni Amin collection. This will be the first time in HBCU history, so ever, all HBCUs around, where a ancient Egyptian exhibition is taking place. Now, this is a commissioned replica exhibition. King Tut is still resting peacefully in his tomb in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. And of course, the new museum that's in Cairo has majority of his treasures. However, Mr. Amin, who's a wonderful collector and cultural appreciator, allowed us to have the exhibition here in the city for a year. And we are using this opportunity to raise funds for the museum, as well as to talk about King Tut and reimagine his life from the lens of an HBCU perspective, and to honor the legacy of him and his family in the 18th dynasty, as well as the legacy of other pharaohs in ancient Egypt.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I had the wonderful opportunity of way back in the 70s seeing the original King Tut
Really?
exhibit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was incredible, incredible, incredible. And so though this may be replica, what I want people to understand is replicas don't mean that you are seeing something that is not of value.
Absolutely.
You know, and this is, I'm sure, high value, and you're going to get a part of the exhibit that makes it more manageable for it to move around.
That's correct.
And that is something special. And to have that at one of our HBCUs, and the only HBCU to have it, that's super special. So this is definitely something to put on your plate. Isn't that right?
Yes, most definitely. I am just so proud of Erica and all the work that she puts in with just showcasing what our museum is. Of course, you know, we're part of the Southern University system, and we each have a museum, but I can say Sonoma is by far my favorite, visiting all three.
Whoop, whoop.
But also what she failed to mention is that she is a SUNO alumna of our master. Yes.
I am.
But also of our Master of Museum Studies program, which is a part of our relaunch of our evening and weekend college. So a huge opportunity for the community to come out, get involved, you know, connect with us on social media, on campus, on our website, to really come out and see this, because it opens when?
February 23rd at 6 p.m. It's going to be wonderful. The exhibition is spread through the Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences building. It'll be a tour taking place, as well as some music, a little bit of light bites. And it's going to be an overall good time. And again, we're appreciating the life and legacy of King Tut while making sure we can raise money for Sonoma. There will be a gala. So this will be the first gala for a museum, for Southern University of New Orleans. And that will take place on April 11th, beginning at 7 p.m. And again, we have sponsorship opportunities available, whether it's in-kind donations or financial donations. So, for example, if someone wants to sponsor a school to be able to come see the exhibition, people can donate funds towards that and be able to have their name highlighted for that particular month or highlighted during the gala. But again, this is going to be a year-long celebration. And I am a team of one in the museum. However, I could not make this possible without, of course, our people at Southern University at New Orleans, such as Darren, such as our friends at Denali Art Handling Studio, and others as well. So I'm super excited about this exhibition.
Yeah.
So for those of you all who don't know, just a reminder that King Tut is a name that people know, but I'm going to go ahead and say he black, okay, and he's the boy king.
Yes.
So he actually took control when he was like 8, 9 years old, which is amazing to think that an 8 or 9 year old did that, and did it for a number of years. I think he did it until he was like 19.
Yes, sir.
So a fascinating story, fascinating history. Well worth your time to visit SUNO's Museum of Art. They worked real hard over years to get this museum.
That's right.
And now it's there. So let's support. All right, this is Will Sutton. We're closing out the Good Morning Show and making room for the front porch. And guess what? We're going to have some more time with these folks on the front porch, which is coming up next. This is WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.